Welcome back to another episode of Caps Off by the Game Day.
What the freak is up, guys? What
How we doing, everybody?
I'm good.
Are you doing well?
I'm having a freaking great day so far.
I'm having a
Literally.
it's a mediocre day.
What were we doing before the pod started? We
Shitting
were
my brains out.
Having a lot of bro.
Yeah.
Don't ever go to Tayin.
No. Go to Taim. It's delicious most of the time. But we all kind of had
the wrist reward.
it tasted great.
Matan, you did us dirty,
The
bro.
wrist reward wasn't
How
there.
could I have known?
You did this to all of us.
Dirty.
Basically, we got
It's
this
funny.
Mediterranean food yesterday. Taim, very good.
It
very
tasted
tasty.
awesome. I'll give it.
Very
Okay,
tasty.
but did it taste good enough to how you're feeling right
Hell
now?
no.
That's the risk.
No, hell
reward.
no.
Well,
hell no.
I feel
Would not make that
all
trade-off.
right now, but earlier this morning and last night, you talk
was-
about shambles, bro. You want to hear about in the trenches? All right.
Not really.
Not so
Not
bad.
really.
The people don't.
Last night, they might. It's kind of funny. Last night, so
Angle is so interesting.
I had to go to, you
Yeah.
know, obviously, because as one does when you have food poisoning.
Yeah,
is,
you know, like
I realized we have no toilet paper, no paper towels in our house after I've already done the deed.
Ooh,
tissues.
The towel.
No
The
tissues.
towel.
Bro, you gotta hop in the
I
shower
gotta.
at that point.
Thank God I have washcloths that I cleaned the other day.
Oh,
I just had to
that's a
discard them.
garbage.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a garbage washcloth. You're not
That's
washing
just-
that
that's
again.
absolutely-
Well,
You know what
it's
you
it's
gotta
in the
do?
garbage now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good,
it's-
You know what you got to do? You got to go into the shower. You got to go face down.
Yes.
No, I'm not doing
Yes.
that.
Yes.
I'm not doing that.
that's what I was
bidet.
saying.
I
You gotta
heavily-
hop right into the shower. Get that.
I
bad boy.
heavily consider it because I tend to go before I go take a shower because it's
Yeah.
kind of nice. But I wasn't doing that at
the right
3:30
order.
a.m. last night. That was
Oh,
absolutely
that was
not
3
an
in the morning?
option. Yeah,
Oh.
that's the worst part. I'm not going to go to the 24-hour CVS 3 blocks away, 3:30. I'm like, well, this is
Well,
a
you
discard.
can't.
You could, but
You have to
that's
wipe
the
your
deepest of
teeth.
shambles.
No,
If you're
that's
at-
just-
if you're at
that's just
CVS
a whole-
at 3
Well,
in
the problem
morning.
is at 3 in the morning, you're now weighing like how much do I actually
Not
want to
gonna
wake
lie,
up?
I'm probably getting wet in the shower. I'm probably getting in the shower.
Oh, you
Yeah.
have
Yeah?
to.
Yeah.
I just
That's
If you
just-
run
that's a
out,
giant bidet.
the
That's
discarded
what it is.
washcloth was the play.
Yeah. So
honestly.
where are the washcloths right now?
In
Well,
his
one is in the
dumpster.
trash.
Yeah,
And it's got a whole bunch.
it's in his dumpster.
That's
It's
disgusting.
a
Oh,
mess.
Oh man,
Food poisoning, no
Let's-
bueno.
let's talk about
So
football. Football.
Josh
Football.
Dobbs.
You want to talk
Congrats
about
on that
Josh
take.
Dobbs?
I look, dude. I tried to tell everybody last week that Josh Dobbs was the best quarterback in Minnesota Vikings history.
Yeah.
Actually, he's not. But
Fuck
he's better.
Frank
Shout out
Tarkenton.
Dante Culpepper.
He's definitely not
Yeah.
better than Dante Culpepper, but he is better than Kirk Cousins. Showed it again this past week.
You
What
think
a
Josh
dog.
Dobbs is? Do you actually think Josh Dobbs is better than Kirk Cousins?
Yeah. Well,
Like,
body of work. Kirk Cousins
People-
is better.
People were
Well-
asking me that too. Also, like, do you guys actually think he's better than Kirk Cousins? And I was just saying that, like, his talent, his ceiling of talent, is much higher.
I
than-
think so. I think
than
like
Kirk.
look, body of work wise, it's not close. Kirk
Yeah,
Cousins has
yeah,
done a
yeah.
lot more. So it's just like I understand you thinking that Kirk is better than Dobbs because he is based on what he has done. But
Yeah.
if I'm looking forward and I'm basing who's better based off of what they're going to give me going forward, I would honestly take Dobbs over
Well,
Kirk
also,
Cousins.
if you think about age, it makes sense too, like that aspect. But I
Even
would
just
still,
and Achilles.
well,
even
that,
just
yeah.
this year, if it's just this year, all I have is this year, and I got a healthy Kirk, I'm taking Dobbs.
Well, I think a fair way to
No,
put it is
I'm
like
still
the first,
taking Kirk.
at least what you've seen on Kirk this year with Minnesota, and then what you've seen of Dobbs, obviously in Arizona, and then in Minnesota. Which one would you want for the rest of the season?
Dobbs. Because I can't ignore
No,
what I've
I-
seen
I
from
don't
Kirk.
I think Kirk's a lot more reliable.
I don't.
I can't ignore what I've seen from Kirk in the recent past in terms of playoffs. I can't ignore that. Like
Well, we haven't even
he
seen
always
Dobbs in the
crumbles.
playoffs.
Yeah, right. We haven't, but I would bank on potential.
I don't know.
I just think like
Also, I feel like Dobbs would go down swinging, whereas Kirk is gonna go down throwing
bro, he threw that little
25 yards short
wasn't
of the
that
first
last
down
play
marker.
against the Giants last year. He threw it like
What the
8
fuck
yards short of the sticks.
Like, what is
on
that?
the last play?
Like
I think it's a fair point. It's like, and I think at their peak, which I think you just said, like the athleticism and ceiling of Josh Dobbs and what he could
Way
be
higher.
is higher than Kirk.
Yeah.
But the
I think we've seen the ceiling. The floor could be lower, but
Yeah.
I
Could
don't
be,
think
yeah.
we could accurately put a floor like knowingly because he just hasn't had the opportunities.
yeah, but there
right
there is a reason he hasn't had the opportunities to. Let's be honest about it. Like
Where did
these
he get
coaches
How
drafted?
long
and
has he been in the league?
like 5 years.
Has it been that long?
It's
Where
been
did
a
he get
while.
And he's been a
drafted?
backup
Like-
the whole time. Was
I
he
think
drafted
even
in
maybe
the-
even longer than that. Like he's
Well,
been
what
here
round
for
was
a
he
minute.
drafted. All,
But,
you know, like,
but
But
circumstances,
there's I'm saying
everything,
it
bro.
it definitely helps in an aspect, but like let's be real about it. Like he's having a great year because he finally got an opportunity, but the reason he wasn't getting opportunities before was because he's not that good.
Well, he
Yeah.
was behind Big Ben, and there was no
Yeah.
way he was ever going to play.
And
over Big
Mason
Ben.
Rudolph though. Mason Rudolph took the backup job from him.
Well,
like
I'm just saying,
these
like,
coaches and coordinators see them in
he was
practice every
from
single
2017 to 2019. He was with the Steelers. Then he went to the Jags in 2019. Then he went,
which was before. Which was before.
Blake Bortles?
It was Blake
No, I
Bortles
think
then.
Bortles was like 18.
It was Blake Bortles, I think.
19?
If it wasn't Blake Bortles, it wasn't Trevor Lawrence. It was.
It wasn't
someone-
Lawrence.
Maybe Minshew.
Yeah. Good call.
Oh, Minshew Mania though.
Facts.
No, but here's the
Whatever.
thing.
Then went back to Pittsburgh, then to Cleveland, Detroit. Like he's
He
bounced,
bounced around a shit ton, but
I get
there's
it.
a reason that he hasn't ever gotten an opportunity, and I'm not trying to discredit him at all. I'm just saying like this is like come out of fucking nowhere, like because all these coaches and coordinators saw him in practice every single day and never thought to give him a chance because he's probably not that good. He's struck lightning in a bottle.
Or because
this
he's
year.
gotten a lot better. Like Kirk Cousins wasn't a starter for 4 or 5 years before he became a starter in
I think
Washington.
it was like 2 or 3 though.
But it's
Because
the
Nah,
same with
RG3
Geno-
was there
but
for-
it's the
RG3
same
was
with
there
Geno
for-
Smith,
they
right?
were
Like,
drafted
and I
the
know
same
you're anti Geno Smith, and
They
he hasn't had
drafted
a
the
great
same
season, but it took him an extended period of time to
Exactly.
learn how to
Yeah.
play the game at the highest level. And I think there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like there's different paths
sometimes
to
being a
becoming.
backup for a while actually does help you learn the game.
Yeah, there's different paths to
Yeah.
becoming a great quarterback or a good quarterback in the NFL. I'm not saying Josh Dobbs is this fucking legend, but if you were to take both Josh Dobbs and Kirk Cousins right now for the rest of the season, both healthy, I don't think it's like a unanimous Kirk Cousins.
Yeah,
I
well,
just don't.
what Josh Dobbs is doing is essentially Kirk's going to have to leave, right? At this point, he's like, because Josh Dobbs is at this point, if he's going to play like this, Josh Dobbs is playing himself into being the Minnesota Vikings starting quarterback of the future.
I don't know about that.
I was
That's what I
about
feel
to
like.
ask, do you think Josh Dobbs is the Vikings quarterback for the future?
No.
No.
I don't know necessarily, but I think it's worth. He's doing enough where he can be a bridge quarterback where you let Kirk go in free
That
agency,
I agree
sign for a bunch of money somewhere, use that money to help build around your team. You have Josh Dobbs for a little bit, maybe draft someone else, and then you got something cooking there, right?
Well, what
Like,
if Josh Dobbs takes him on a playoff run? Right? Like
Yeah,
then,
then he's that guy.
Yeah,
Then
then
he's that guy.
absolutely. It's like last year when Brock came in, you're not thinking like, oh, he's going to be the quarterback of the future for the Niners. Goes out, wins every fucking game, wins 2 wins 1 playoff game, goodbye, and looks pretty good. Like
Yeah.
I think you could easily say that if Josh Dobbs does that,
There's a lot
he
of
is.
different ways that this could go. I feel like with Josh Dobbs, but I think if you're a Vikings fan, you got to be happy. They've won what, 5 straight?
They're the hottest team in
Yeah.
the league.
Yeah.
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 They're the only team with a 5-game winning streak.
You made a comment about the Kirk Cousins theory.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
is your Kirk Cousins theory?
Yeah, this is a good one. We were talking about it before. So I think essentially what's going to happen is Josh Dobbs is going to ball out the rest of this year, and he's going to be the starting quarterback for the Vikings going forward. Hence, if you may, mayhaps.
Mayhaps.
I love mayhaps. Anyway, Kirk Cousins, because of that, he's a free agent after this year. He's going to leave. What team's got a lot of weapons that is just wildly good for how terrible their quarterback is? The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Woo!
And then Kirk Cousins signs the Steelers, turns them into, if they're 6-3 right now with Kenny Pickett, they could easily be 8-1 with Kirk Cousins right now. Kirk Cousins goes to the Steelers, turns them right back into a Super Bowl contender immediately. I could see Kirk Cousins taking the Steelers to the Super Bowl next
I
year.
don't
No,
see
no,
Kirk Cousins in
no.
black and yellow.
I
and
don't
know
either.
why.
I don't
I
either,
don't
but
either.
they have the pieces around. They have a defense. Mike Tomlin is there, is probably top 2-3 coach in the league.
5.
You got 5. Okay, sure. That's still
10.
great.
Still great.
It
He's
is.
at least top. He's at least
2-3's
top.
pushing it. Though.
At least top 32.
He hasn't won a playoff
32.
game in like
Yeah,
20
top
million
30.
years.
Yeah, but anyway, but you got a lot of pieces there. You got Pickens, Deontay Johnson. You got a lot of talent on that team. I think this could possibly be a fun little thing for Pittsburgh if they got. You should start thinking about that because Kenny Pickett's not your guy.
Yeah, definitely. They would be nice.
Think
for
about
Kirk.
think about how good the Steelers would be right now if they had a healthy Kirk Cousins.
That'd be fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
They'd arguably be the best team in
I
football.
They'd be
make an
one of the
argument
best
with- I
teams
can
in the
make an
league.
argument with, I feel like a decent amount of the teams in the NFL right now could use a healthy Kirk Cousins.
Well, if
That's
the Niners had him, we would never lose a game.
Don't discredit your boy.
No, I love Brock, but
They're close.
if
I'm
you
still
put
making throws.
Kirk right
Kirk
there-
still has bad games, just like Brock did.
Everyone
Brock's
has
had
bad
3
games.
bad games in his career. Let's
Yeah.
halt that.
In a row.
Oh, I know.
But does it make
I love my
sense
baby
if you're
boy.
Pittsburgh? Would you rather in a loaded quarterback class go get a quarterback
Yeah.
or then sign?
Well,
fucking
they're 6-3.
Cousins?
They're not going to be able to get a dude like that.
Yeah, but
I would
guys
trade up.
fall.
I would sacrifice future picks and trade up to go get a quarterback, not go get a quarterback like Kirk Cousins, who we've seen fold in big situations. But
But also,
with
like,
that being said,
you have a team that can win now if you get the quarterback right.
if you're Mike Tomlin and you know that you can build a strong team, which he's done in the past, that's really relied on based on your defense, weapons around your offense that can make you a
Physicality.
contender, then I think Kirk makes sense. But I agree. I don't.
I
really
think
see
Kirk would be a
in that
good
black
fit
and
for them
gold.
because, like, with the team makeup that they have right now, it's defense first. That's always how the Steelers will be with Mike Tomlin, anyway. But it's defense first, and then you have a quarterback that's not going to do stupid shit but make some good throws throughout the game, that's what Kirk can do for you. You can win every game if you're doing that.
It's interesting that you're saying that Kirk on the Steelers would be a good fit, because I was talking to some friends this weekend and I was saying I think the Steelers are the Vikings of last year right now. The Steelers are 6-3.
Oh yeah, they
have. What's the stat that they have a negative yard differential?
Filibuster right now while I find the right stat.
The Steelers are 6-3, but they've been outgained in every single game they played this year.
But somehow they still win games. They're the team that on the scorecard or in the win column.
Look at the win column.
It looks like they're a good team. But if you watch them play, we're not like blown away by this team.
They don't pass
6-3 does not actually paint the full picture.
It's like when you talk about like the college
Steelers
football playoff, and college football is like, well, the resume is there, but the eye test, you don't really know about the eye test.
So the same thing with the Vikings. The Vikings last year, obviously they won 13 games somehow, but
there's a difference
lost to a lowly Giants team in the playoffs.
And we knew that the Giants could beat them.
But there's a difference between negative point differential and negative yardage differential. And the
yardage is way different.
The fact that the Steelers are the first team in NFL history to have a negative yardage differential and be the only one that has a winning record is wild.
Is that a good thing or a bad?
It almost makes me hate the Steelers.
That's what I said to you yesterday.
Because they don't deserve.
Does that make them? Is that I don't understand though. Like, is that worse or better than the point differential thing?
I think I haven't calculated it in my head.
It's harder to
be
do.
honest. I think it might be easier to do because like that could be a testament to your defense.
Yeah, exactly.
In good positions. You don't have to get that many yards, but you score.
Yep.
Whereas a negative point differential, it's like you're literally getting outscored by your opponents.
And then you win in the last second.
Okay, so negative point differential worse than yardage.
I think so, but the yards are weirder though.
Yards are weirder.
The yards is definitely more like obscure.
It's like what?
It's more efficient.
Yeah.
It's a more efficient play style.
Yeah.
But I said to you yesterday, I fucking can't stand this.
And Matt Canada somehow, if they go fucking 11-5 or 11-6, like Matt Canada's gonna just walk into a job next year, like with the Steelers, because they won 11 games.
If they go, I'm just saying, I think if we all believe, I at least believe, if they make it to the playoffs, that they feel like a team that could easily be bounced in the first round by anybody.
No question.
That's
like,
in Pittsburgh,
by anybody.
That's why they're the
Vikings. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's why they're the Vikings last year. Their record does not reflect how good they are. They're not actually as good as their record.
But maybe they are.
But they have better coaching and
winning.
Yeah, they have better pieces. They have people that can go win you games. Like TJ Watt is a defensive. Like
that's true.
Anchor that can win you a game.
Minka, Alex Highsmith, you got dogs out there, dude.
Yeah. But he got good coaching. Like the Vikings didn't have that last year, really.
But I can't stand the fucking Steelers. I can't. And one of my best friends is a Steelers fan, and I picked against them, and I picked the Packers. And he texted me on the side. He's like, "It's just disrespectful at this point." It's like, you know what? I feel disrespected.
But even I'll bet even Steelers fans like have no idea if they're actually good or not. Like they're winning games.
They feel to me super mid. They feel super mid.
They feel it, but at some point they're 6-3. We got to actually.
Yeah, you're right. You are what your record is. Ugh. But we can flip it.
They're a team though that can beat. I feel like they can almost beat any team that's not on that elite upper echelon of teams. Like you saw the Niners beat the living shit out of them. I bet the only teams that the Steelers can't beat are like the Niners, the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Cowboys.
I don't think they can beat the Dolphins either. Personally, I don't think that offense.
I think keep up. I don't think their offense could, but the defense could at least negate some of that.
Yeah, I think Tomlin could figure out his way. I think
he would outcoach Mike McDaniel for sure.
You mentioned the Vikings, though. I feel like we can flip the playoff loss Vikings and talk the Giants because we were talking about this before, that the Texans of this year is the Giants of last year. A team that gets hot, a team that can sneak into the playoffs, a team that could potentially win a playoff game.
There's a lot of
first-year head coach.
Well, yeah, it's
a lot of synergy.
But it's also like it's the first year bald head coach.
Between the two. No,
sure.
Does that not make sense?
No.
Matan, the first year bald head coach. You have to think about that.
Baldies.
Comes into a new system. You got a quarterback who doesn't turn the ball over, makes no mistakes. They're coming back and winning games. They can win with their defense. They can win with their offense.
What a fucking win for the Texans.
Somehow they're just winning games. It's awesome to watch.
Yeah.
That's the Steelers are very similar in that way. They just somehow fucking win games. Don't know how, but they do.
They're similar in terms of like new head coach, but and I think on surface level because like they weren't really good the year before,
and no one was expecting them to do anything, and now they're actually like, whoa.
But then when you really start looking at it, I think it's quite different because like the Texans were horrible last year. The Giants weren't horrible the year before last year. They were okay. They've always been okay.
Bad.
They've never been like god awful. The Texans literally turned around. They went from like projected to be one of the two worst teams in the league.
People were projecting them have the first overall pick again next year,
Right.
but then traded to
Right. And now they have a winning record, or they're 5-4. Now they have a winning record,
With
5-4,
just a win against the Bengals on the road,
which is
who
huge.
they beat the week before
Bucks,
that too.
Bucks.
The Bucks.
Yeah, but not. Hold on.
But
You
it
want
was
to
a
talk
hell-
about the
but it
Bucks?
was a
But
hell
it's
of
a
a
Todd
win.
Bowles defense and then a Lou and
The Giants
And
were
Aruma.
4-13 the year before.
And Aruma.
anomaly.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
and Aruma.
right.
The Giants were 4-13 the year before last year. So
So
they're
pretty,
really
I
bad.
actually
pretty
think
and then
fucking
I
bad.
think the other thing is that CJ Stroud, yes, you can bring up like the turnovers, a quarterback that doesn't turn the ball over as Daniel Jones did neither last year, but that's the only similarity.
I think the
CJ
Tex-
Stroud is.
Well, I'm
a
only
fucking
talking
gamer.
surface level. I'm
Yeah,
saying
CJ
I think the Texans have a better roster, and I never thought
Yeah.
I would say that than the Giants of last year. But I'm just saying on the surface of being able to sneak into the playoffs,
Yeah.
and potentially win a game with
a
how
team no one expected to make any kind of
Correct.
noise
Yeah.
that is making a lot more noise than we thought.
you have a take,
Yeah, guy in the cool green sweater.
cozy guy.
I just remember when I said the Texans 2025 Super Bowl champs.
Yeah,
That
you're
could
on
fucking
your
happen.
pace.
I was on to something. I didn't even know I was cooking, but I guess I was. I
No,
don't
you were
even-
you were cooking. That shit's real.
I'm
Jeez,
so
I like, didn't know the
happy.
oven was on, but then I had garlic bread in there, and all of a sudden, 30 minutes later, it's right there in front of your face. It smells awesome. Unreal. That was
Yeah, the Texans are a lucky franchise when it comes to quarterbacks. At least recently in the past,
Well, Deshaun and
What would
CJ.
it be, like,
Matt
eight
Schaub.
years?
Woo.
that's why I said the last 8
David
years.
Carr. Woo.
That's nice, brother. To be able to go from Deshaun Watson, top 2-3 quarterback in the league, when he
And
was
then
with
Mac
them,
Mills.
to the best
to-
rookie quarterback in NFL history.
to CJ Stroud is actually pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Well, you can get into that a little, but I also have. I think CJ Stroud should be firmly in the MVP conversation at this point.
Jack, you're taking
Not
words out
just
of my
offensive
mouth.
rookie
I
of the
love
year,
you.
but you in that
should be
as
in the
well.
No, I was just
conversation.
about to bring that up and start the convo.
I'll
The combo.
hey.
Do you
I
think
pulled up stats last week. I got stats again this week.
Give
Edit
it
the
to
video this time.
because I came prepared?
Yeah. No, but CJ Stroud, I think, should be in the MVP conversation for sure. Not saying he's the favorite
Okay, I
or
agree.
anything like that.
I agree.
But what he's doing with a Texans team that has kind of a mediocre roster, it's like a team bunch of misfits or guys that are very or I guess overlooked at this point. Not underlooked. That's a good thing. Overlooked. People weren't really talking
that's
about him
short.
much.
Looking over.
Like he's second in passing yards in the league. He has a 15 touchdown to 2 interception ratio. No other quarterback with at least 10 touchdowns this year has less than 4 interceptions.
dog.
Like he's doing everything he can. He's had 2
Those are the stats.
last drive.
That was the only stats.
No,
you
but
had?
now I've memorized this one. All right.
Dog.
The last 2 weeks, he's come back with the last possession of the game, a chance to win it, and he does. Like he makes the big throws in the big moments. He's not turning the ball over. He had a bad pick yesterday, but then what happens the very
Comes
next
right
drive? He
back down.
comes right back down the field and wins that shit.
That's
It's
what makes
insane.
I feel like elite quarterbacks elite is if you make a mistake, can you capitalize and come right back down? And he
Bounce
did
back.
bounce back, let down.
Mhm.
You also mentioned stat. He also leads the NFL in yards per game.
He does.
right
He
now.
does. Yes.
He's the third game with 350 passing yards, tied for the most by a rookie in NFL history. You went as far as saying he should be in the MVP conversation. I think he should be in the MVP
At
conversation.
least
I
top
don't think he
3
should
to,
be.
3 to 5, honestly.
I think, yeah, he could be
I
on the
don't think
bottom
he-
side of that 5 or maybe around 6 or
He
7.
shouldn't be the favorite.
But he deserves it. He's top 5 in a lot of
What would it
statistical
take
categories.
for CJ Stroud to win the MVP?
I think they got to win at least 11 games. You
I would
can't,
say
you
for
can't
sure
be
win the
hovering.
division. For sure win the division.
You have to win a division, and then you can't be hovering around 500. You have to be a few games over 500.
Hey, they've won 5 of their last 7. They started off a little slow, and then CJ got cooking, and now they're fucking.
He
They're
will
a wagon.
firmly win Offensive Rookie of the Year. though.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's no
Firmly.
question.
But I
That's a
also think
lot.
him being in the MVP conversation is indicative of just the parity amongst the quarterbacks. There's no one playing at the highest of levels. I
No.
feel like Mahomes was last year.
Yeah,
It was Mahomes and Jalen Hurts, and Jalen Hurts was having.
It was,
a
it was
good-
those
Also-
two last year, though.
but
above
Mahomes
everyone.
still was
Yeah.
Totally.
fucking pure hooper hours. Right now, it's there are 7 quarterbacks
No one's
that
really
are
hooping
in that
hooping.
conversation.
And also the
Yeah.
thing about CJ
it's a
Stroud
good
is
pickup game. Right
it's
now.
more impressive coming from a guy like CJ Stroud because he's a rookie.
God.
right.
Right? We were talking about Dak Prescott off the podcast. Dak's been balling. Maybe he should be in the MVP conversation. We could talk about that. But the fact that CJ Stroud is a rookie and doing kind of similar things, or even the same
Yeah,
thing,
he-
and with the worst
it's a
team-
lot more.
Yeah, and it's
impressive.
It's
With
the
a
worst
lot of
team last
distance.
year.
Noah
Yeah.
Brown looks like a fucking stud these last
Yeah.
couple
Well,
weeks.
my favorite-
and that's
all
the guy
their
that
My
receivers.
favorite
the
part
Cowboys
about
didn't
it-
want him. Devin Singletary, because that pass game is nice, has been able to
Hey, I've been
thrive
saying
right now.
Singletary's nice.
And the Bills didn't even want him, and they have fucking nobody.
My favorite part about this is I feel like you are going to see Bengals fans be like, well, he didn't have T. Higgins. Bro, CJ Stroud didn't have Nico Collins.
Yeah.
Like, he's also doing more with less.
Nobody had Dalton fucking Schultz.
Dalton Schultz, the Cowboys didn't want him. He came over to the Texans and
facts.
balling.
I started
Yeah,
to bring this up
because of
before.
CJ.
I started to
with
bring
Noah
this up
Brown.
before, and I'm
Yeah.
curious to know your thoughts. But I personally believe CJ Stroud is on pace to be the best rookie quarterback in NFL history.
I don't have rookie
Who
quarterback
else?
numbers off the top of my
When
head.
it comes to your
didn't he
head,
have a
so
crazy
right now,
rookie?
so right now,
Oh, it was horrible.
It was
CJ
like
Stroud
the worst.
right now is top 10 in passing yards, touchdowns, QBR, QB
yeah.
rating, and he's thrown only 2 INTs, as Jack alluded to.
Andrew
He went
Luck.
177 pass attempts to start the season without an INT.
Insane.
Now, off the top of your head, who are some of the greatest like rookies? Just like
Andrew
from
Andrew
the-
Luck.
Okay, Andrew Luck's over 16 games in 16 starts. The team went 11-5.
I don't
he
want
had-
to see the others. I just saw one of them.
He
I
had
saw-
4,300 passing yards, which is the rookie record, 23 touchdowns, 18 INTs, 76.5 QB rating, 5 rushing touchdowns. That was Andrew Luck.
Cam Newton.
Good year. Cam
Oh, yeah, Cam
Newton,
Newton was
another
crazy.
fun one
Yeah,
you
yeah.
brought up.
Sick
16
year.
starts. Team went 6-10 that first year. He had 4,000 passing yards, which was
Yeah.
the rookie record at the time.
Insane.
21 passing touchdowns, 17 INTs,
Mm.
84.5 QB rating. He did have obviously 14 rushing touchdowns, which makes up for it. But as a pure passer, right now, CJ Stroud on pace to
I'm trying to
surpass
think
that.
of other guys. Like for some reason, I'm drawing up.
Should I bring up RG3? Had a pretty
Bring
good
him up.
year.
Yeah, he was great.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was
RG3,
great.
15 starts, 9-6, 3,200 passing yards, 20 passing touchdowns, 5 INTs.
Good.
Oh,
That's a
good
hell of a
INTs.
year.
Good.
102.4
Stroud's
QB
on pace
rating,
for less.
and also had rushing yards. So the rushing yards is making up for it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring up 2 more guys.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
go
you
ahead.
got him. Who? Mayhaps.
Russell Wilson also was in there.
It
16
was pretty
starts.
good. It wasn't
They
great.
went 11-5, 3,100 passing yards, 26 touchdowns, 10 INTs, which
Pretty
at the
impressive.
time, 26 passing touchdowns was the rookie record.
That's impressive.
100
At the
QB
time.
rating. Also had 489 rushing yards. One more person, the
Go
guy
ahead.
who is as overrated as it gets. Do you want to fill in the gap?
There's a lot of guys.
Justin Herbert?
Oh, thank you.
Oh.
Cut that out. That was funny as fuck.
15 starts, 6-9, nice. 4,300 passing yards, 31 passing touchdowns, which is the rookie record. 10 INTs, 98.3 QB rating,
Damn.
and 5 rushing touchdowns. Right now, CJ Stroud,
On pace.
15 passing touchdowns, 2 INTs, top 10 in pass. I don't have all the
Oh, you put
stats.
it in the maths.
Yeah.
But he's on pace.
Let's
for a
just double it.
fucking
Let's say
lot.
essentially double
He's,
that.
I'll
Yeah,
pull
so in
up.
terms comparing to quarterbacks in recent history, looks like Stroud is going to outpace all of
So
them.
what if what's Stroud's like essentially on pace for stats, Adam?
Well, you got to do the math for that. He's gonna,
Just lightly doubled and then minus some.
CJ Stroud right now is 26, second most passing yards in the NFL, 2,600, right? Wait, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Looking back at the numbers, double that.
He could throw for 5,000.
Double that. He could pass. He could throw for 5,000. Yeah, he's going to clear. He's on pace right now. Clear the record in passing yards,
which is Cam's?
He's
which
he's
is
at 15
Justin
touchdowns.
Herbert's.
He's
Oh,
at
Herbert.
15
Oh, Herbert,
touchdowns
for
right
sure.
now. Or 4 is it 15 or 14?
15 touchdowns.
So
So
he's on pace for
halfway
like
through.
28.
The record is
then,
Justin
like,
Herbert with
3.5.
31.
He could pass that.
Could easily pass
He'll
that.
probably get 2 more INTs. let's say.
INTs. Okay,
INTs,
4.
I'd say
You never
he's
know
gonna
what
have about
INTs though, because
4.
when it rains,
Yeah.
it pours.
But if he's
You're right.
in, you know,
But
Okay,
let's
but like
on
on
pace.
pace.
let's
On
say
pace,
2
on
more.
pace.
2 and 8. Yeah. So 4. He has 4 INTs.
so he's on pace to throw for about 5,000 yards, or 30-ish touchdowns, and 4 picks.
Woo!
What's his completion
Dog.
percentage too? I think it's pretty high. It's like
Give me a
67.
second. Give me a
70.
second. Pulling it up. Hold on. Keenan Allen's completion percentage is 100%. If anyone was
I
wondering.
hate that. I hate how they do that.
I know it's so annoying.
He threw 1 pass.
Yeah,
You could
completes
just,
it
you could just look
100%.
CJ Stroud.
Top QBR,
No,
top
because
passer
I'm on the
rating.
wrong website to be doing this. Just having a little
Oh
trouble.
boy.
CJ, nope. Hold on.
Oh boy. I'm sorry.
62%.
That's actually not great.
It's not great.
No.
That is hurting the argument, I
Yep.
would say. But I
So
will.
we won't edit that part.
We
in.
won't. We'll keep that part in. I just think when you look at it with what he's doing,
Yeah.
with how little they have, with
Oh,
wow,
look,
I
you're getting
almost
so
cried
emotional.
there.
You're crying thinking about
A
him.
little hiccup. It's a creatine, baby.
Oh, hell yeah, brother. Let's go.
It's a crazy thing, baby.
Usually it goes the opposite way. I feel like your voice cracks. Or something.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think when I look at like how CJ Stroud is playing with what he's doing, with how little they have, not only will that pick when they trade it up to get Will Anderson go down as one of the greatest trades in NFL history if it ends up working out in 5 fucking years. But CJ Stroud might end up
5
becoming. Well, they have won 2 Super Bowls by then. Which
No,
is,
I
Well,
know.
they've at least won 1 by then.
no, they're
like-
going to win 2 though.
Well, I'm saying, but
dynasty.
2025 is a lock. We know that.
Yeah.
Right. So
I'm just saying, I think CJ Stroud right now is playing like potentially the best rookie quarterback in NFL history. And it is a pleasure to watch.
Don't hedge it with potentially. He's playing like the
CJ
best
honestly,
rookie quarterback. in NFL history.
but on pace.
I-
So that's
I
why
love-
the potential comes in.
I love like
Yeah.
the swagger and mindset he has too, and that's a
love
guy
it.
that is going to lure other players to want to come play with.
Definitely
him, too.
lure.
Like talent wise, I'm saying like running backs or wide receivers, like to actually beef up that offense and have some talent around him.
Shout out to all my Long Islanders out there. The Long Island Railroad, lure.
Lure.
Took the lure to
Shout
the
out
city this
Lure.
morning.
Bro,
Dude,
the
CJ,
lure, you
you know
took
what
the
we
lure
call-
to the city this morning?
No, I'm saying like that's what they would say.
yeah,
What do
yeah,
we
yeah,
call
Lure.
CJ right now? CJ Stroud? What do we call that?
Dog.
Pure
Dog.
Hooper hours.
Pure hooper
Oh
hours.
yeah, that's totally what we
Yeah,
call
CJ
him.
on an MVP pace for
Mhm.
sure.
I mean, yeah, he should be in the conversation.
in the conversation.
All right,
What
let's
about
talk-
the Bengals? We were just gonna.
I was
skip
gonna.
that?
can't
No, I'm getting to that.
Fuck
We're gonna
'em?
do that later.
Fuck
We're
'em?
gonna. I was gonna go into another guy who was like pretty good as a rookie and then just got hurt and then just came back. His name's Kyler Murray.
Ah,
Oh yeah.
Kyler Murray is back. Well, he's physically back. I don't know how back he is actually as a player, but what are your takeaways from that Falcons Cardinals game?
Bijan.
Finally.
They got him his goal line touches.
They did.
They got him. They got him the
Finally,
red
bro.
zone touches.
I
bro.
saw
Right
someone,
after you
someone
trade
said
for
on
Moon.
Twitter.
Exactly.
Someone said on Twitter they distracted Arthur Smith for Bijan to run on the field during that goal line. Oh man,
likely.
I'll be honest. I don't give a fuck. You know what? My biggest
Arthur
takeaway-
Smith's mustache back though. By the way, we thought he
It
would.
grew back already.
It grew back quick.
Actually,
my God,
Did
Woo!
you see
This
Condo?
is-
You saw that?
This is growing quickly.
Insane. Damn, he's got good
No, he's
facial
got
genes.
he's got good genes.
My
Good
biggest
facial
takeaway
genes.
from Falcons Cardinals, and I just thought of it.
What?
We just saw that quarterback go up against his future team. Kyler Murray is going to be the future.
Oh my
the
God.
future quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons.
If that happens, the Texans are winning no Super Bowls, bro, because the Cardinals might or the Falcons might win the next like 10.
Oh,
The Falcons with Kyler Murray would be an absolute cheat code.
disgusting.
Who would you
Oh,
rather
Madden-
have-
it'd be a Madden created team.
who would you rather have right now, Kyler Murray or CJ Stroud?
Oh, that's a good question.
We've seen body of
Oh.
work from Kyler.
CJ Stroud
little.
because Kyler, I still have the off the field questions a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm like, is
Yeah.
he gaming too much?
Also-
New Call of Duty.
Also,
Oh, and the
Oh.
the Fortnite map is back. The OG. So,
no,
Yeah,
he's not a
facts.
Fortnite guy. He's a Call of Duty guy.
well, if
But
you're
they
a Call
did
of
just
Duty
drop
guy, you
Modern
probably
Warfare
were a
3.
Fortnite guy
Come
at
on.
some point.
You're
He's
not
not
too-
a
at all.
No
Not at
one's
all.
ever too cool for Fortnite. Let's be real.
I was a COD guy, not a Fortnite guy.
Ooh, you're starting on my boy.
Yeah, dude, he's fucking sick.
He's sick.
I had a
Yeah.
PC, bro. I was you just
Yeah,
full
it
spit.
happens. It
No,
happens.
COD.
Hey, I see didn't shit though.
Do you
Let's be
think
real.
you think
I
the
think
Cardinals
you
are?
gotta, well, I think you got to take CJ Stroud because of the contract. But
Well,
True.
yeah, that makes sense. But I'm saying with Kyler, like, do you think the Cardinals are going to give up on him regardless how he plays this year?
They shouldn't, but maybe sometimes it's better to just start
They
from
should
scratch.
reset with
Yeah.
new ownership or new
Yeah.
GM. And
Like all
I
that
don't
shit.
think that they should. I think they have a quarterback there, and it's the hardest thing to find.
Yeah.
But it's so hard when you have new
But
management.
bro, if you go out there and you have like a top 3 pick, you go out there and get Kyler Marvin Harrison Jr.
I agree with you. If I'm the GM, I've said I
You
am
go
a
get
GM.
that motherfucker.
My
You are a
TikTok
GM.
bio says self-proclaimed NFL
Of
GM,
course.
and it's not really a self-proclamation.
I also feel like the thing with the
You
Cardinals that's tough
told me
is
that.
that if you're bringing in a rookie quarterback, there's not that many pieces around there to like actually surround him with and help him flourish early.
It's bad. why
Like
bad
Kyler, you're
franchises
already
say
paying this
bad
dude a lot of money.
franchises.
Just let him like he'll play well regardless and just start building up shit. I don't know. It's a hard situation to be in if you're the Cardinals.
Well, the problem too is that Arizona they just won yesterday, and they're gonna win more games now with Kyler.
Oh, they're probably gonna win
They're
like
gonna
5
win.
this year.
Nah. Two more
Maybe the
games.
Rams.
What's their record now? They've won 2.
2 and
They
7.
play the Rams again. They play the Seahawks again. I think they could beat both of them.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm just saying, like they could easily win 3 or 4 more.
I want to see Kyler on the Falcons.
I would love to
So
see
that
that.
would be
It'd be a
awesome.
cheat code.
Kyler
so
or Justin
badly.
Fields. One
That'd be
of them, bro.
awesome.
I'll be honest. I think I want to see
Kyler's
Kyler on
better,
the.
though.
I think I want to see Kyler on the Falcons more than
I think he'd be
Justin
way more
Fields.
fun.
Oh,
Well, he's much better. Than
just
it's not-
moves so
they're not
fast.
close.
Just watch his little ass just bounce
Yeah.
around.
Dude, the
Little Shrek.
memes
Him and
of
Bijan.
him running, bro, the little Shrek thing, that
Oh,
was
it's
so
great.
fucking good.
Dude,
Kyler
imagine,
and
imagine a
Bijan
little
was-
read option with him and Bijan. or something
Oh.
like that.
Kyler
Oh,
plays
And you
wow.
got Drake London there. You got Kyle. Like it.
That
like,
catch that Drake London made that shit
skill-
was fucking crazy.
skill wise, the Falcons would be the best team in the league, I think,
If Kyler was on the
Skill-wise.
Falcons.
I don't agree with
Yeah.
that at all.
because
The
Kyle
49ers
Kyle,
exist.
Kyle Pitts, Drake London, Bijan Robinson, Kyler Murray. They would just be so dynamic.
We
I
know,
agree. The
we know,
49ers
we know.
might be
Just let him
one.
rock. Let him
But
rock.
then Falcons would be too. Like
Yeah, I'll let him rock.
Now that he
Maybe-
said that,
they'd be up there.
they'd be like, come
But
on,
unfortunately, Kyle Pitts, until proven otherwise, is
he
just a name.
stinks. He stinks.
I
It's
agree
just a
with that.
name.
He
y'all hating.
stinks.
Y'all
I
hating.
don't want to hate. I want to love.
anything.
I'm out on him.
John Smith has
unfortunately.
been better than him.
I want to love Kyle Pitts.
Bro, you were just shitting on Arthur Smith because of how he's treating Bijan Robinson. Why can't Why can't
'Cause Kyle Pitts
get
is
that
playing.
same treatment?
And Kyle Pitts has been
Pitts
in
is
the
on
league
the
for 3
field.
years now, and he hasn't done anything.
But that doesn't. But Bijan at this pace could be in the league for 2 more years, and it's going to be the same thing as
Also,
Kyle
No, but
Pitts.
Kyle Pitts- Kyle Pitts is in the
The
game.
sample size is so much.
Anyway,
Anywho, mayhaps.
Mayhaps. You want to talk about the Niners though?
could talk about
We're
the
all
Niners.
over. We're a bing, 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 bing.
Yeah,
kinda
dude,
fun,
we're trying
yeah.
to get through
We're-
a bunch of good
we're
games. There was a
cooking
lot
today,
of good
boys.
I
moments.
love it. I love it.
There were a
Oh,
lot of good
Talk to
moments.
me
this
nice.
week.
Let's
Let's
go-
go with the fucking 49ers, Jack.
What were the biggest takeaways from that Jaguars?
What's
Niners game?
good with Adam? The 49ers are back to being the best team in the league. There's no.
Yeah!
I don't give a fuck about the Eagles' record.
No,
One
you
loss. You
don't.
have fun with that shit. When this team is playing like we did against the Jaguars yesterday, the Eagles have not had a win like that
No,
this whole
they
year,
have
and we have
not.
two
No.
of those. We got one of them against Jacksonville. We got one of them against Dallas, and both of those teams
And
can
Pittsburgh.
realistically
And Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
I'm on your
Pittsburgh
side.
6-3.
But Philly's
Thank
better.
you.
But Philly's
Thank
better.
you. No, but cut that out. Don't sound the same. No, but realistically, I don't think any other team has just beat the fuck up on good teams like the Niners have this year. That defense, the defense in those 3 losses that we just had looked abysmal. Steve Wilkes in the bye week, they figured out something that worked. I don't know what the scheming was that was a little different, but it worked. Chase Young and Nick Bosa already is a ridiculously disgusting duo. And
Yucky.
those two dominating from the edge has helped Javon Hargrave play a lot better. Eric
Talk to me
Armstead.
nice.
So that defense is going fucking crazy
Going
right now.
crazy
Fred
right now.
Warner,
Fred
just did his
Warner
thing. Best
Did his
linebacker in the league.
thing.
He always
Best
has been for a
linebacker
while.
in the league.
But Brock played incredibly well again yesterday. He made one really bad throw, but it happened to be a touchdown, so it's okay. Remember that throw? That was
That
really
was
bad. That was
fucking
really bad.
gross.
Christian McCaffrey, he sucks. Yeah, everyone else scored but him, so he sucks. I'm out on McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Obviously, that
trade
dude
him.
fucking
Trade
bum.
him. You don't need
Let's get him out there. I want Elijah Mitchell. To start playing more. All right,
Trust
give me
us,
Elijah
Mitchell.
Mitchell. Yeah, I just or
Frank Gore, bring him back.
Frank
Oh,
Gore.
I mean, yeah.
I
take.
just
Good
we don't
neck.
need him.
Good neck guy.
But no,
Oh.
everything
Love
was
some
clicking
neck.
yesterday.
You
The
might
play
be
design.
right. in
Trent
saying-
Williams and when that Niners team is fully healthy with Trent and Debo back, the things they can do offensively
What
is
can they do?
ridiculous. Just literally anything you want.
Literally.
Besides get
Literally.
Christian
Literally?
McCaffrey to score.
Yeah, they tried so bad, but
They did. I saw
No,
that.
I think a full
What are
strength.
your takeaways from Sam Darnold yesterday, huh?
Well, he was trying to force Christian the ball, which is a very selfless play. And I like that out of my back
I actually,
quarterback.
I actually respect that. Well, that wasn't just him. The offense
was the
definitely.
play.
But
Yeah,
everyone,
was
they were
like,
showing, they were showing the teammates. They're like, get him in the fucking
Yeah,
end
I
zone
know,
right
I know.
now.
But yeah, Darnold not a great throw on that out route. But
No, no.
You might be
It's all
right
good.
that they're back to being the best team in football,
I think I don't care about the record. The record we got the same fucking record as.
but that's why I'm gonna say the Eagles are the best team in football still.
no, but
Yeah, it's fair.
it's fair. But have you seen the Eagles be as dominant at their
No.
peak as the Niners have been this year?
No, but
Not
I
even
also want to
close.
see wins. I want to like.
No,
Yeah,
and
but the
I
Niners-
get that, but
but
those
the-
are a lot of injuries. Those games, like.
I agree
All right,
with
wait.
you.
Leap, I think Leape's about.
I
to
also
cook.
have a take.
I have a feeling.
I also have a
Oh
take.
no, I was gonna say that like the Niners, they had their injuries when they were losing those games. Now they're healthy. The Niners healthy, best team in football. But if they sustain some injuries which they have the past
And
few
as
weeks,
teams do throughout the year.
as teams do, but I don't think the Niners. Well, I mean, I don't think. I know the Niners can't overcome them in the way that the Eagles can. So as a team as a whole, the Eagles are better, but the Niners at full strength are better than the
By the
Eagles.
way, I just noticed the hoodie you're wearing. Congratulations on dropping your
I-
tour with Drake.
I appreciate it. I actually spoke it into existence.
Yeah, wow.
Manifestation,
Hey,
vibes,
Martin Luther King would have been under
meditate.
Talk to
Martin
me.
Luther King.
True.
Yeah. That's
Holy-
crazy. Though. I had no idea, bro. I put this shit out this morning, like
One
just because I was
time-
trying to get cozy. I was shitting my brains out,
My LA
and I was like, I
sisters.
just need to get
One
cozy.
time.
For my LA
Oh
hoes.
God, here we go.
Lame.
No,
Two of
no,
us.
stop that right now.
Yeah.
What was gonna be your point?
I was like crying right now.
What was
bro.
gonna be
Look at
your
him.
point, bro?
I don't know.
You were gonna say something. You said you had some argument for
yeah,
the Eagles
yeah.
or some
I
shit.
was just thinking about it. I know I don't want to jump to another NFC team, but if you want to talk about pure dominance, the Cowboys might be the most dominant team in the NFL.
No, the
No.
Niners beat them by 40,
We beat
bro.
the piss
I was
Hold up.
about
It
to
was
say,
like 30.
I was about to say the same
talk your
thing.
shit.
Thank
I was
you.
about to say the
Thank you.
same
I
thing,
just
and then
think
I
the
remembered that the Niners beat them by
No,
30.
But also
Whatever.
the Cowboys,
like
No,
what
but-
you because
but-
you're right. The Cowboys are beating up on teams like
But-
every fucking week.
but
it
the
feels like the
Cowboys
Cowboys put up 40
purposely
spots.
lost. You forgot that the Cowboys purposely lost against the Niners. So when they play in the playoffs, that they'll beat the Niners.
Bingo.
But the Niners also lost to the Vikings and like
Yeah, but through injuries.
Yeah,
but
That's
like,
why
And
I
the
said-
Vikings are also the hottest team in football right now.
That's why
I
my
just
take.
think when I think like the Cowboys, just for me, it's been so. Womp.
The Niners
Like, look
haven't
at me.
gotten blown the fuck
Don't-
out.
No.
Like we've lost close games
Yeah,
last 3 weeks.
Don't get me wrong. The Cowboys have have a higher ceiling, I would say, than the Niners. But the Niners
have a higher floor.
with the full but with their full team intact, like if they don't have injuries, specifically to Trent Williams, I don't really know how big of a difference Debo makes, but Trent for sure.
Debo just helps you have a little bit more options in the playbook.
If they hurt, they can't win. Like Brock Purdy can't carry them to victories. We've seen that with 3 straight losses in a row to a couple to bad teams. Now when they're
manage the game
when they're
enough to
fully
win
healthy, like I think they're better than the Eagles. But I don't know if we can rely on that because every team's going to have injuries. And so if I had to say which team is going to be better going into the playoffs, I would say the Philadelphia Eagles because like there's a good chance the Niners are going to have some injuries. They're going to.
Yeah, every
crazy.
team gets hurt.
We were talking about how loaded the AFC was before the season, and it's clear that the NFC
is way better.
Is so much more top heavy.
Top heavy, you say? Not deep,
No,
but top heavy.
because I think there's 4 teams in the NFC.
There's
you're probably right.
Niners,
But
Eagles,
the AFC
Cowboys,
is fucking
and
loaded
Lions?
from top to
Oh,
bottom.
Lions. Yeah.
And the reason the AFC is not as dominant is because they're all playing each other in some.
the
capacity.
AFC, there's probably 8 to 9 teams that I could realistically be like, they could win the AFC this year.
All right, I guess
Get
the
hot at the
Cowboys
right
are
time.
not. I don't know. I just feel like when I watch the Cowboys, like just their level, and yes, I get it was the Giants, but like the dominance that when they're executing, when they're
Honestly,
firing on all cylinders.
Since that San Francisco loss, the Cowboys have looked fucking awesome.
Bro, Mike McCarthy has turned it on. I said it a couple weeks ago. Like Mike, I forgot what game it was. It was one dominant victory for the Cowboys, and I said like the biggest
against the Chargers.
No,
I don't know, but you
It was
came
the
out
game
of it.
after
You were
the
like,
Chargers.
"This was Mike McCarthy's
I was like,
best
Mike
game of his
McCarthy
career."
fucking coached his ass off,
Yeah.
and if he can keep this going, the Cowboys are the most dangerous team in the NFL.
Agreed.
He has kept it going, and even against the Eagles, they lost that game. There were some penalties, and there were some missed opportunities at the end of the game. You lost that game. He still coached a good game, and through that process in which he's coached a very good game, Dak Prescott has been playing very well. Kind of weird, right? I mean, we talk about good quarterbacks having good coaching and stuff like that. Now it's fucking working. You see Dak has put himself in the MVP conversation. Yesterday against the Giants, I know it's the Giants, but in week 1 when they beat the Giants by 40, there were still some doubters, some on this podcast that said, Dak didn't play that great a game, even though he just did what he needed to. They won by 40. Well, this game, they won by 30 or whatever it was, by 30-something. Dak scored 5 touchdowns, threw for 4, ran for 1, the highest QBR in a week by a quarterback this season.
Let's go. I'll tell you about this in NFL history.
Was it perfect? Crazy. Was it a perfect QBR?
It wasn't a perfect QBR. I don't think
damn.
anyone's had that. Obviously, no one's had that yet this year, but he's had the highest QBR to any quarterback this season in a given week. And CD Lamb is getting involved. Now, we got to talk about CD Lamb because the same treatment we gave AJ Brown after we said, record-setting performance and stuff like that. CD Lamb is the first receiver in NFL history to have 3 straight games with over 150 yards and 10-plus receptions. Is he in that top tier? I would say he is. You're talking about Tyreek Hill, number 1, A.J. Brown, number 2, CeeDee Lamb, number 3 in receiving yards. Now, that's after not getting fed in the first few weeks of the season. Now, who's getting him that ball? Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott's in the MVP conversation.
You are going crazy, and I love it.
CeeDee Lamb is one of the best receivers in the NFL, and you can say that pretty strongly now. And Mike McCarthy is coaching like this team is going to make a fucking run in the playoffs. So then I will say this: they beat the Giants, and so we still want to see them beat. we still want to see them beat a great.
Respect to that, though.
We still want to see them beat a great team, and I'll close off though that even though we haven't seen them beat a great team, we've seen Dak have really good performances against great defenses. So like the Jets, they embarrass every time the Jets play on prime time. They show the quarterbacks like how they've embarrassed Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. Tua or whatever, like not Tua. I think
not Tua.
But
Joe Burrow,
the quarterbacks.
Herbert,
Joe Burrow.
No.
There's four like
it's Jalen Hurts, it's Mahomes,
Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes.
Dak Prescott played a fucking hell of a game. Embarrassed them. 2 touchdowns, like 200, like 300 yards or whatever it was.
They don't show Dak on that graphic.
They never show Dak. So Dak has played well against good defenses. Embarrassed the Patriots defense, who has made Josh Allen look bad. Made Tua look okay. Tua did look okay. Didn't look great. But Dak was able to beat them 38-3. So let's see them beat a great team, but he has performed against good defenses.
I'm dying to get you in a room with Stephen A. Smith.
Oh my God. That would be special.
I love Stephen A. I actually saw a video of Stephen A. and Jerry Jones. It was after, I think, the Cowboys game was again.
He's just a troll.
Stephen A. Smith loves the Cowboys. It's probably his favorite team.
Well, you know why? Because it gets him notoriety.
Yeah, of course.
You know why he hates the Cowboys too, right?
Well, anyone who talks about the Cowboys, you get ratings.
He's a Giants fan.
He had a relationship. He was dating someone who was a Cowboys fan, and she broke his heart.
Oh, no way.
Is that part of it?
Was she Latina?
He said that.
He loves Latinas.
My guess is, Hey, congratulations on the Cowboys.
I appreciate
Hell of a
it.
fucking performance.
We just lost.
You
just lost
stat?
100,000 followers.
You're gonna like this stat. Bro.
I don't come strapped like this when the Niners play well. I don't come strapped.
No.
Hold on, everything I said was off the dome though. But
no, that's what I'm saying.
I will bring this though because your boy Dan Marino is on this. Dak Prescott is now tied with only Dan Marino and Patrick Mahomes for most 400-yard games through the first 8 seasons of an NFL career.
Should Dak Prescott be in the MVP conversation?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Conversation,
totally
yes.
agree.
Will he win it? Should he win it? No.
Dak has more of a claim to win the MVP than CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
100%. But I didn't say CJ Stroud should win it.
If you look at the stats, CJ Stroud's performed better this year, just statistically.
Yeah, but the
Actually, he
Cowboys
hasn't.
are better.
He hasn't. I mean, passing yards, that's the only. I don't know if he has.
Passing yards, touchdown to interception ratio.
Dak has more touchdowns.
He's doing a lot more with a lot less.
That I will agree with.
Like
That I will agree with. But Dak has.
I think he's
Dak. If you look at Dak, he's like top 5 in every statistical category, pretty much. He's 30.
Yeah, I'm
he's
not
30 QBR
trying
now.
to diss Dak. I'm just saying like CJ has the numbers to be in that.
They're pretty close. 17-6 touchdown INT ratio, 15-2.
So
Dak's
Dak has
Dak's in the
17-6.
top. Dak's in the top 10 in passing yards.
He's third in QBR.
I'm on NFL.com.
Okay, he's third in QBR. I'll say that right now.
Whatever.
I just think he's second in passer rating. Dak. Oh no, third. Sorry, third in passer rating.
Behind
Tua and Brock
Purdy.
one.
Better QBR than Tua.
Sure.
Not than Brock.
Tua hasn't.
Josh Allen, Brock
Tua has
Purdy,
played.
Dak Prescott.
Bang.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mike James
I
is
just
too.
think the reason I would say like I'm happy for CJ Stroud to be in the MVP conversation. I think Dak's got to be in the MVP conversation as well. I just think right now, if the season ended today, who would have a better claim to the MVP? I think it's the Cowboys because of the
Dak,
record.
but I would still go Mahomes.
Well,
Dak, like they need to go win games. And like, guess what? The Cowboys are gonna have to play the Bills. They're gonna have to play the Eagles again. They're gonna have to play the Dolphins. This is a perfect. If Dak wants to win MVP, he can go win it
I agree
because
with
he's gonna have the
Yeah,
games.
he has the games to
He's
be
got
able to
the
show.
game. It's lining
The
up.
Good for Dak,
nationally
honestly.
televised to be able to.
Yeah,
Good for Dak. He's silencing the haters.
We
potentially.
you talked about the Niners and we glossed over the opposite team.
Oh yes, the Jacksonville
What the
Jaguars.
fuck is going on with Trevor Lawrence? Why don't we keep the same energy with Trevor Lawrence as we do with like Justin Herbert? We shit on Justin Herbert. We do.
We
Well,
do.
we
I don't
do.
think
We
national
do.
media
Trevor
does.
I think
Lawrence.
Herbert has an extra year of leash.
Herbert's done, but we shit on Justin Herbert, and yet
Well,
he's done more than Trevor Lawrence
Herbert's a year older, right?
Yeah,
Trevor
that's what I'm
Lawrence.
saying.
The
Herbert's
reason we don't
And
give
Trevor Lawrence is also
because he's a
same.
generational
It's
prospect.
because he's-
Exactly.
yes,
His prospect.
exactly.
Exactly. The
Yeah.
way he was brought into this league was he was going to be Peyton Manning, and so,
So
we're only in
can't-
year
But it-
2
but it-
or
but if-
3 of that of like
three.
But if Brock,
Whatever,
but if Brock Purdy,
Peyton Manning
or
wasn't good in his first 3 years either, right? So
I-
there you
his
go.
first year.
I'm just saying, are we just not going to give Trevor Lawrence shit? We're just going to let it go because he's been
we
fucking
have
bad.
to start a dialogue.
We're going to have a conversation.
Let's
All right,
dialogue.
what's the dialogue?
Let's
The dialogue is this dude is playing very similar to Mac fucking Jones
And Baker Mayfield
and Baker Mayfield.
And
Like
no, Baker fucking Mayfield.
And you're the biggest Mac Jones hater of all time.
I
so
am the
stay
biggest-
consistent.
I am. I'm trying to
No,
Give it right. Give it to me.
No, I think he's saying that Trevor Lawrence is so bad because he's like Mac Jones.
Why is Trevor Lawrence
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Mac
yeah.
Jones? Why?
Trevor Lawrence, just
What's
you
the
look at I'm
comparison?
just looking at the stats right now. Passing yards to Mac Jones, he's only got like 80 more passing yards. Passing yards per attempt, fairly similar. All the stats are fairly similar. Passing touchdown 9-6. If you flip it at 6-9, that's very
This
nice.
is just this
Mac
season?
Jones is 10-10. Yeah, this is this season. Team 6-3, obviously. So that's like the reason I guess we were not going to give him shit. But I just think pure performance. We expected him with an offensive play caller. He gets a weapon in Calvin Ridley. Just please let me have the Calvin Ridley.
He's
juice.
not a weapon
But
anymore.
he's definitely a weapon.
He's a weapon.
But you have Calvin Ridley. He's supposed to take that fucking leap, and he's been bad. Like, this is by far. He had 8 games of last year where everyone's like, dude, he's ascending after week 1. We said this dude is.
Well, especially
by far the
that
closest
comeback
thing
in
to
the
Patrick
playoffs, like
Mahomes.
you had a bad first half.
I get it, but he's had more bad games than not, and I understand it's only been 3 years, and I understand we have to have patience with certain things, but he's got a lot more talent and weapons than a guy like Mac Jones does, than a guy that like Sam Howell does and stuff, and Sam Howell's in that conversation with how he's performing. I just think we don't like keep the same energy with Trevor Lawrence is all I'm saying. I don't think we give him
As
shit.
Justin Herbert?
As Justin Herbert or just any other NFL quarterbacks. Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence, it feels like they get leashes. But if that was
They
Joe
do, but
playing
they
that
also
poorly,
play for
if
teams that
Jalen
nobody
Hurts-
cares.
Yeah,
I think they also play for
yes,
teams that nobody cares about.
But
the Jags and Chargers have no fans.
But it's also
Yeah.
they both show flashes of like the highest level of eliteness.
That's
like Even
And
if they're
they've
not,
Honestly,
even if
but
they're
Lawrence
like,
hasn't shown much of that at all
but
this year.
Eye test, brother.
He
Watch
has-
the guy play. He shows that.
Yeah.
Like,
Bro, I watched
the
him
same
yesterday.
with
He
Justin
sucked
Herbert. You're right.
ass.
Statistically, they're not converting, but like if
At
you
the
watch these
same
guys
rate-
throw and move, like
At the same
those
rate
guys are
you are saying
they're
you-
high level.
At the same rate you are saying you watch the eye test. The eye test is also telling you that this
Mm.
dude is not playing well.
Yeah, he
The eye
doesn't
test
look
is
good.
telling you
Agreed,
both
but it's
sides.
the flashes.
But, bro,
It's the
hold on.
flashes.
The Jags were 6-2 heading into this week.
No,
They
I
were
agree
winning,
with you. I
bro.
just said the reason that
And
we're
they got
not going to
dominated
say it
by
is because
31
of
at home.
his
They're the
win
best team in
loss.
football.
I understand that. I'm just saying
Still
pure
the key.
performance as an individual with the talent he has around him, where guys like Mac Jones doesn't have the talent around him. Sam Howell, like there are some.
Sam Howell's got some talent.
I was going to say Sam Howell does have some talent, but I'm just like on the case of Mac, like we're giving him shit. But Mac Jones, if you gave him that very similar of Doug Peterson and Travis Etienne and Calvin Ridley and
Yeah,
Christian
he played
Kirk
well.
and Evan Ingram,
I appreciate
probably
you
be playing
finally
well.
giving Mac his respect.
I just
you having
think
like
like
a heart attack right now? You just keep clutching your.
it was
Yeah.
warm under there and I was a little cold.
Creatine.
Oh,
I
that
gotta
is the
pee so
creatine.
badly,
That's
yeah.
that's
I want to
Yep.
just have I want
Whatever
to
it
start the
is.
dialogue that we need to give Trevor
I
Lawrence
appreciate you started the
some
dialogue,
shit.
and I saw the comparison of like him to Mac Jones' stats. I still think though, like if you watch football and who's
Ooh.
like
He's calling out the ball knowers.
if you
or the
watch
lack of ball
football and
knowers.
you know how good football looks, like there's a difference between Mac Jones and Trevor Lawrence.
Obviously, I'm
And
not
body
saying
language
that.
is
I'm not
huge,
saying
and
that.
leadership.
I think Trevor Lawrence, and I understand he's been a generational prospect. I understand the ceiling of Trevor Lawrence is up there with some of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I'm just saying, from what we've seen, he has not been that good.
Let me ask
at
you
all.
something. The Jaguars are historically one of the worst one of the worst
Yeah.
franchises in the league.
Yeah.
Do you think that has any effect on how Trevor Lawrence has been playing right now?
It's a
No,
completely. It's a different front office. The owner Shad Khan has
I mean,
always
at the end of the
given
day,
them
they're
like
6-3
money
right now.
to yeah. They're
So,
6-3. Like
There's nothing for him. Like
also won the division.
just
last year.
asking.
if the record was
I don't know
flipped,
the
if they were
answer.
3 and 6,
it'd
but
be-
Trevor Lawrence had the same exact stats
He'd be
because the
ripped.
defense played worse,
He'd be ripped.
he'd be getting torn to shreds.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence this year is getting carried a little bit by a super underrated Jags defense. That defense is fucking good.
I agree with you on
They
that.
didn't look good yesterday. That's because they're playing the best offense of all time this year, San Francisco.
All
49ers.
time.
So
He's also being
But-
carried by Travis Etienne.
yeah, it helps a lot. I don't
I'm
know.
just saying before
No,
I'm
he's
out on
not. no, he's not.
Travis, bro, what do you mean?
Etienne's
being-
been balling this year.
Yeah, but he's not being
Forced-
carried by his running back.
in
What?
what do you
No,
mean?
no,
In
not him.
4
The
straight
team. The
games,
team
they're-
has been good
yeah,
because
the
they're
win-
running
the
game.
si- We're talking about him being 6-3.
Yeah, but you just said he's been carried by Travis Etienne.
That's
That's
brought
a
up
stretch.
being
He has
carried by
been
the
balling.
defense.
No,
I'm
absolutely,
saying,
but
I'm
that's a
saying
stretch.
he's
But that's
also
the
being
team.
carried by.
That's the team, not Trevor. The team.
But the main argument for Trevor, and I brought it up as to why we aren't going to give him shit, is because the team is winning, and I understand
Team's
that. I'm
winning,
just
yeah.
saying, outside of that,
So the
it's
team
Trevor's
is being
performance
carried
has
by their
not been.
defense and their run game, not
Correct.
Trevor being carried because Trevor's not doing well.
Sure.
I'm just saying you used the wrong wording, and Felipe is a very literal guy. So if you say
That's
the
true.
wrong thing, he's going to be confused.
Sure.
The team is being carried by their run game and their defense.
Yes.
That I agree with, because
Okay.
Trevor has not been playing great.
He has not been playing.
I understand. Yeah, Trevor, his stats aren't up there with some of the best quarterbacks where we would like to see it. But they are 6-2.
That's not to
and
say
they
they're
lost.
6-3,
They
yeah.
well, they were 6-2
They
going
lost.
into
They
the
got
game, and then they lost.
dominated.
Right, but we just talked about a guy who's
By
in
the
the-
great-
It's not
Greatest
just a
team
loss.
In
No,
sports history.
By that
no,
great
bro. But I'm
defense.
saying, like,
I agree, but what I was going to say was that he just lost to a team that also embarrassed a guy that we just said is in the
To a
MVP
team.
conversation, right?
They
Dak,
did
Dak's in the,
embarrass
we
Dak
just
that
said
game.
we just agreed that Dak's in the MVP conversation. He got embarrassed by the Niners as well, and so I think we just got to give the Niners more respect when it comes to that as well.
thanks, bro.
Yeah. I still believe in Trevor Lawrence. I still think this dude has potential to be and is arguably a superstar right now. I'm just saying
He should
we
get
gotta-
criticized.
He should be criticized.
Yeah,
Should be criticized.
I
We
agree.
criticize Justin Herbert, and Justin Herbert does have some fucking crazy throws. We just don't really criticize Trevor Lawrence. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And we should start doing that.
Maybe we
Maybe
should
we should be
start.
haters.
They
You
I
have.
criticize Matt.
want to be a hater?
You do.
I don't want to be a hater.
Can you
No,
apologize
I
to
love
Matt
Trevor
Jones?
Lawrence. No, I was told not to make any more.
So did we
apologies.
you were told to not make apologies.
Did we overhype fucking Trevor Lawrence then in the beginning
fucking
of the
Trevor
season?
Lawrence?
Of course we
Yes,
did.
bro.
Yeah.
Of course we
said
did.
Trevor
But
Lawrence
he's-
is the closest thing to Patrick Mahomes. I fucking love it.
Do you?
And now he's like maybe top 10 quarterback. Maybe.
Nah, he's top 10. He's top 10. He's
I
top 10.
wish
he?
top 10 rankings were you had to make them weekly. Like you had to put a ranking out there because it would be so much fun.
Well, Dak Prescott number 2, baby.
Josh Dobbs number 3.
True.
Facts.
True.
Felipe like that one.
I like that.
Oh,
you
you're
like
right.
that?
Well, talk about
Oh.
overrated.
Talk about overrated. Are you
Let's
gonna
talk
bring
about the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, Shout out LFA.
Yeah, that's a sad one.
What's the biggest takeaways from Browns Ravens this week?
Are you gonna say it again for the?
I'll say it again. The
second time in
Baltimore
like 4
Ravens were
weeks?
overrated.
Oh, that's not what I was going to say.
Lamar Jackson.
We overrated the Baltimore Ravens.
But
I
they
don't
ran
think
into
they're
a
the
team that's underrated. In
Totally.
the Cleveland Browns and Cleveland
The
Browns.
second half of that game, it looked like vintage Deshaun Watson.
good take.
Where's the Browns sitting? Does anyone remember where the Browns
What?
are sitting? Does anyone remember where the Browns
Are you
in the
talking about
stadium
my
are
poop?
sitting?
You talking about musical chairs?
The fucking what?
Are you talking
Does
about?
anyone
The Browns are in
remember?
the AFC North. Did you forget what division they're
Where are
in?
the Browns sitting on the sideline on the bench?
Oh, I said they were in the holding cell.
Oh, you
I forgot
did.
about that one.
And
So
there
the
were
Browns were in the holding cell because they have all these fucking weapons and talent. And if Deshaun can get back 70% of what he once was, this Browns team is
He's
going
dangerous.
to make some fucking noise this year. And what did he look like in the second half? 82%.
82 specifically.
Potentially 79%.
I
Law
mean,
of averages.
the game-winning play that he had for them was vintage Deshaun. Go out of the pocket, run around, make something happen, get a fucking first down, a huge
Deshaun
first
looked
down.
good at the second half. But now,
Yeah.
granted, you brought him up. First half looked
That's
fucking
fair. That's why
terrible.
I'm not even. You got it. Second half looked
But
great.
that Browns team is fucking lethal.
Myles Garrett made Lamar Jackson's life a living hell that second half.
Mhm.
He was literally single-handedly forcing Lamar to make bad throws or sack, and it was insane.
And we did see pass rush win rate.
Pass rush rate.
Miles
That's
Garrett
tops.
was number
That's
2.
okay, mate.
Or number
And
two, sorry.
him and Michael Parsons, only two people double teams more than
Most.
30%.
Bingo.
That's what I'm saying.
You know your stats, but
Come
you
on,
know
bro.
a little bit of ball.
Come on.
Except for Mac Jones. You
Except
don't know
for
your ball
Trevor
with Mac
Lawrence.
Jones.
Yeah.
Except for Trevor Lawrence, yeah.
Right.
You're gonna
Yeah.
forever defend Mac Jones.
Yeah, I don't know. My biggest takeaway has nothing to do with the Ravens. I think the Ravens are a good team. I think in order for the Ravens to have success, to be that Super Bowl aspiration team that we know that they are, they have to open it up more. They have to let Lamar be Lamar. They're relying on the run game a ton, and it's been successful for them. They've been winning games.
Yeah.
I just think if they are to make that leap, that lethal team that's going to go win the Super Bowl, the Ravens need to let Lamar be Lamar. And he's been good.
Like
He-
let him almost play like backyard football type of
I
shit.
want
or
like, and I'm not talking Greg Roman style offense because they've looked good, but I want to see Lamar do, I want to see him do ollies and 900s and like backflips and shit. Like I want to see him do some really fucking crazy MVP shit. So
But I disagree with that because I think if you're up by how much were they up by at one point?
14.
Was it the 14 was the most?
Yeah,
14 was the
that's
most, yeah.
All right, you got to close out that game if you're
Yeah,
a
you
coaching
do.
staff and
Yeah.
if you're a defense, especially if you're that
and if
top
you're the
defense.
quarterback.
But that's been like, and granted,
No, but
they-
you're running the ball, run the
they-
clock off.
And granted, they blew out the Seahawks, and I get it, and they didn't need to let Lamar be Lamar. I just think if they are to win a Super Bowl, Lamar has to be able to throw the ball, and they have weapons. They
I
added
understand
weapons.
that, but up by 14, that's negligence by your coaching staff. Like you can't lose that game. It's like the Falcons
Complacency?
losing to the Patriots in the Super Bowl. Like so much, you can't blame that on Matt Ryan. Like, yeah, they should have scored more. Even Justin Herbert last year, but like how are you going to put your team in a position to give up a lead like that? I don't think it's fully
But
on
they were
Lamar.
running the
Although you
ball,
did
like,
say
all
that he's not
second
playing
half,
that.
too,
I'm not
though,
putting it
like-
on Lamar, to be very clear.
Yeah,
I'm not putting that
What
loss
was
on Lamar.
Lamar's line? He still
Lamar
played
didn't
well,
play
He
right?
didn't play
well.
Lamar didn't play well.
He didn't.
He didn't play
No,
well.
ended up with
he
two
had a couple
picks.
really bad missed throws like
Bad
down
picks.
the field.
Well, one of the picks was batted down. and
Yeah.
yeah. pick
Again, I
six. but the
started
same
this
one
one-
Deshaun Watson had though.
Yeah,
Again, I said, well, no, Deshaun, that was a crazy play by Kyle Hamilton.
that was.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm not saying like my biggest takeaway from the Ravens side is like there's nothing to worry about
I
the
agree.
Ravens.
Yeah,
I just think
if
if
I'm
the
the Ravens,
Ravens,
I'm fine. You just lost the divisional game.
yeah, if you are,
Yeah.
if the Ravens want to be an actual Super Bowl champion, I think they need to open up that passing game. They have weapons, so they're relying heavily on the ground. I want to see them be able to throw it and move it through the air way more than they
Yeah.
are, and that's
I
my
feel
only
he's
thing.
got to look at Mark Andrews a little bit more. Mark Andrews has been like a little
Zay
frustrated,
looks
not getting
good.
targeted. Zay looks really good, but Mark Andrews is like that good security blanket you need. Like every time you need a first.
Yeah,
down,
they
he's
Even
didn't.
great,
OBJ
He only got
took
2
that to
receptions
the house.
yesterday.
Yeah,
Even
the
OBJ
last
took
few
it
weeks
to
has
the
been
house.
kind of.
Yeah, I think like a good a good comparison was the Cowboys yesterday against the Giants. You get up by like 14 and you just keep airing it out. And like maybe it was a little bit disrespectful to the
It was
Giants.
extremely disrespectful.
But Mike McCarthy's just like, nah, we're gonna keep scoring. It was 4th down. We're gonna go for it. Like the Ravens should have. They're up by 14. Go get up by 28. You know what I mean? That's what they should have done. And I think
I'm
they just
sure
went
they were
back to-
certainly trying to.
They
do
went to
that.
Baltimore Ravens. I don't think so. They went to Baltimore Ravens football. Let's just try to run out and like
They were
maintain
th-
possession.
But they were throwing the ball.
Yeah.
The Browns, credit to the Browns defense. Who do you think, now that we've got 9 weeks of a sample size of this AFC North, who's the best team in the AFC North?
I think top to bottom.
I think it's the Ravens still.
I
also still
said
think it's
that
the Ravens.
before. I was saying that at the half yesterday. The Ravens are the best team in football, but then they let up that lead. The Browns got something going, dude. I don't know what it is. That defense is insane. If Deshaun plays at that,
Bengals.
Also, I don't think the Bengals.
No, I was gonna say the Bengals losing that game also just like entirely.
If the Bengals dominated the Texans
it
yesterday, I'd have a
lowered
different
their
story.
playoff chances by like 30%.
Oh, dude, they might not. Yeah, they're fucked because
Yeah.
divisionally they've lost games.
Yeah,
Yeah,
They're
I
fucked.
I
I
still
think
think it's the Ravens.
I think the Ravens are the best.
I think I got to go Browns slightly.
I don't think
If
they moved.
only
I think at their peaks though, the Bengals
There
are
was
the
a
best,
way.
but they're just too inconsistent for me.
Yeah, I don't think the Ravens moved much from last week. Like, what was my overreaction last week for the Ravens that they were the best team in the AFC
Yeah,
when they really weren't yet? We couldn't say that yet. Still don't think they're clearly still not,
they're not.
but they're one of the best.
They
teams.
could win the AFC
They're a
though.
They're a top 2 team. They're still. I think I got Chiefs Ravens still, but
Jack, you had some like crazy theory. I can't remember it.
You're about to say if only there was a way to quantify who's better. You know that the Ravens beat down on the Browns the first time they played them.
Then Browns
With
beat
DTR.
them. Yeah, with
Okay.
DTR, that's true. Adam, what was the theory you were talking
No, I
about?
was asking, but Matan, of course, is in a bad mood today, so he just wiped out
What were
conversation.
you
I
gonna
don't think he's in a
talk
bad
about?
mood. It was factual.
Yeah, I was just
actual
speaking.
capsule.
Every time I speak, I'm just in a bad mood now. What the
I
fuck's
just feel
with
like
that?
you've been having bowel issues. So
Yeah, I have.
I think
Yeah.
So
that's
have I. So have
naturally-
I. So have I.
have.
Anybody, but how many times you want to do a quantity check?
What?
How many times has everyone gone to the bathroom in the last 24 hours?
Last
5.
4.
That's true. 5's a lot.
Oh, wait, 24?
I don't
Oh,
blame
no,
you if
yeah.
your butt is burning. That's all I'm saying.
Is
I'm
it
allowed
burning?
to. The only time I speak up and have arguments with you, you're just telling me I'm in a bad mood now. That's it.
Well, you said it twice to me today now. I think you. And one was 100% correct, to be very clear.
Okay, wait. So can we just go back? So you think the Browns are better than the Ravens?
Now I am. Keep going.
You think the Browns are better than the Ravens?
I do right now, yeah. Because I think with the fact that Deshaun is able to get better and get healthy and play, even though he's in a walking boot again and got hurt, I just think the Browns, like that defense can go win you games. And that
I
offense
agree with that.
was
They
holding them
forced
back.
so many turnovers, that defense.
The
The Browns are
connection,
dangerous.
the Browns are dangerers. So I just think right now, and it can move, but the fact that
Imagine
the
if they
Browns
still
just
had
beat
Nick
the
Chubb,
Ravens,
man.
Oh, if the Browns still had Nick
God.
Chubb,
I think it's like a 1A, 1B, and then 2 and 3, if that makes sense.
And 3, and the last would be the Steelers.
Yeah,
still,
which is
yeah,
crazy
right?
because they're 6-3.
Yeah.
What
I
the
know.
fuck?
Yeah, it's a
We
loaded
did
division.
preview this type of occurrence with the AFC North, though.
Yeah.
Did we?
I had the
Yeah,
Steelers
well-
making the playoffs earlier this year in my
did?
You did.
preseason.
You did.
I'm not saying we had the
Yeah,
Steelers being like
looking at
awesome,
the
but we did say it
records.
was going to be the best division in football.
Yeah, and they're just the Steelers are always one of those teams that they just win. I don't
Yeah.
know how they just
I
do.
don't know.
What is another
Goddamn.
AFC North team that
I
we
didn't
should talk
realize
about?
since he was 5-4. I didn't realize
The
they were in
Bengals?
last place.
Yeah.
We should talk about the Bengals.
I mean
Yeah.
the Bengals just
I don't know
confuse
what
the
to
living
think.
shit
Yeah,
out of me.
I don't know. I don't
They're
know.
so weird.
So
They're just the most inconsistent team ever.
They're like vanilla to me. I
I
don't
don't
know why. They just
they're inconsistent. And going back to
sexy about it.
talking about
Joe
the
Burrow
Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence, we want to talk about the Bengals and Joe Burrow
We've done this
because we have. I didn't realize we were talking about Joe Burrow today.
Not
No, I'm
really.
just saying in general. Like,
Oh,
Where
okay,
you going?
cool.
Where you
This
going?
year.
So
Yes.
today, this year, they have Joe. So you said CJ Stroud, like a testament of a good quarterback is going down, throwing an interception, and like that, not letting that ruin how you're going to play for the rest of the game, right? And going out and actually throwing a touchdown and getting your team back in it after that, right? Joe Burrow throws an interception at the end of we're talking about like 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter, goes down, like you're trying to get your team right in it. You're in the
It
game,
was in that
throws an
zone.
interception. Next drive gets the ball back, throws another interception. You're talking about 2, I think it was 2 red zone. One was in the end zone, one was close. You're driving on the other side of the field.
Yeah, yeah.
We're talking about Trevor Lawrence making these mistakes. Joe Burrow is having a worse statistical season than Trevor Lawrence this year.
Is that true?
And so yes.
Yeah.
And so if you want to talk about Trevor Lawrence, let's talk about Joe Burrow.
but if
Trevor Lawrence has a playoff win.
you're
Has one playoff.
Yeah,
but
Joe
we're
Burrow has a
slightly
Super
missing-
Bowl.
I
Burrow's
understand
been
that.
to the
We're
Super
Bowl.
Bowl.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
understand.
yeah.
Hold
But
on,
he's
I
also
understand
had-
that. I'm
he's
not
had-
saying Trevor Lawrence is Joe Burrow.
But you're bringing up Joe Burrow yesterday, and off the 2 picks, he threw a dime to Tyler Boyd to win the game, and Tyler Boyd dropped the ball.
He did.
Yeah,
So
but I'm talking
we're
about
talk-
2.
But I'm just saying,
I'm just saying that in a position where Dak Prescott or Josh Dobbs or Deshaun Watson or Lamar Jackson, if they're in a position to go win the game where they need to come back and they throw an interception, we're gonna say, wow.
I
In
mean,
a
that's
position where they were supposed to step up, they threw
that's
a
what we
pick.
said. That's what we
but
said
that-
about Brock Purdy when he had those.
But that's my
every
point with
game
Joe.
that
I
they
think
lost.
Joe stepped up. It was Tyler Boyd's fault. Like it couldn't have been a
Oh,
easier
if
catch.
Tyler Boyd catches the ball, we're not talking.
We're not
about
even
this.
talking. They win the game. It's a completely different story. So
Yeah.
I agree with what you're saying, and I think Joe Burrow should get ridiculed of in some capacity. Like
He
they are the
will.
better team than
He won't.
yesterday. They should have won.
Bro, Joe Burrow is the most bulletproof quarterback I think in the league. Maybe Justin Herbert,
Justin Herbert's
but
pretty
they're right there, bro.
Joe Burrow's played awesome.
Burrow does
until
not
this
get-
year.
Well, I'm talking about this year.
But I'm just saying in general, like he has the body of work to be able to be a little bit more bulletproof. Patrick Mahomes has not played awesome this year whatsoever.
Yeah, but he has 2 MVPs.
But that's what I'm saying,
I
though.
get
That's
what
what I'm getting at is when you have the body of work,
I can't
you
argue
can
with
have
that.
bad
I can't
seasons
argue
or
with
like a bad stretch, and people won't talk about it because they know who you are.
I can't argue with that.
Yeah,
Guys
but I
like
think-
Justin Herbert, Dak Prescott haven't done anything.
But I think
Well,
that
Dak's had more success than Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
Fine, but I'm just he's on the Cowboys.
Dak 2 playoff ones.
He's on the
Like,
Cowboys.
But Dak
so it's-
also is not bulletproof. Let's not get there.
I'm
Like,
saying he doesn't have the MVP. He
No,
doesn't
no, he's
have the
opposite, right?
accolades.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any of those
He's
things.
bulletproof.
But to your
28
point, Tyler
30.
Boyd catches that pass in the end, then we're completely forgetting the interceptions for Joe Burrow, which
well,
has
one
been
of
our-
the interceptions doesn't happen.
which
if he
has
catches
been-
that pass.
was that how it was?
Yeah.
All right, well, 2 picks. Regardless, that's kind of our whole conversation with Burrow in the playoffs the past couple of years, where he hasn't led his team to a fourth quarter touchdown at all in the playoffs. And so it's his team kind of picking him up. Now, I'm not like forget all that, but I'm just saying this is that same exact situation. So you could choose to forget the INTs if Tyler Boyd does catch one of those, but then we're just putting him in the same position that we've put him in the
Well,
past.
I personally don't care, and it was the reason I always defended Dak and Josh Allen. I don't care as much about the INTs as long as the team's really winning.
It's the timing of the INTs.
Yeah.
It's
though.
the timing, yeah, but like
This
that's
is
why
the-
that's why I'm
that-
gonna
I'll be
ignore Joe
honest,
Burrow's
this-
INT because they would have
this
won the
past game
game.
against the Texans was one of the first times I've ever seen Joe Burrow throw an inopportune pick.
Good
Sometimes
word.
he throws
Such a
bad
good
picks
word.
because I've had to use it for Brock
But
Purdy
it'd be like
recently.
early or something.
Yeah, it's like early in the game where it's not like a high leverage situation. Those 2 picks were in fucking terrible situations. That's how you lose.
But how about that
football
dime
games.
to Trenton Irwin?
That
Yeah.
Trenton Irwin.
First
and
quarter.
Glover
touchdown was
didn't
fucking
catch, by the
unreal.
way. That was his only,
Uh,
only catch.
No, he had
way.
one more. He
He
had
had
one
one
more.
He did.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought
He
you
had
like,
another.
knew.
But-
I'm almost. Are you sure?
Oh,
at the
I'm
end of the
almost
4th
positive.
quarter, he
I'm gonna
had only
lose my
one
shit.
reception for a touchdown.
I will purposely
I thought
piss
he
my
had two.
pants right now.
Although I
That's
didn't check after that. Towards the end of the 4th
Okay,
quarter,
so
he only
change
had
to
one
Trenton Irwin
reception.
talk. All right.
54 yards.
Oh, he did
There we
get
go.
it.
Yeah, I
How
thought
many
he had
receptions?
another.
2
Two.
receptions.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. He got it.
No,
late.
but this is the first time I've seen Joe Burrow throw inopportune
I mean, we
picks, and
missed
it happens to
everything
every
else.
quarterback. Every quarterback has had games where they, have terrible decisions that they make or really bad throw in a really bad time. He'll be fine. I'm not worried about Joe. He's had like a iffy year, but he seems fully healthy. And fully healthy Joe Burrow is just as good as anyone in the league.
I'm not worried about
yesterday.
Joe, but he followed me. with
every
this.
quarterback has bad games, though, is what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like,
but
I'm
his
not
whole
worried about
season's been
Joe.
bad.
Follow me
no, it
here though.
hasn't.
But I'm worried about the Bengals. And the reason I'm worried about the Bengals is because they've lost divisional games that can keep them out of the playoffs. Like that will hurt them. Now, I think they will be fine and they will win games. But if you don't make the playoffs and then you lose a T. Higgins because he's going to be a free agent, team could look drastically different. I trust the Bengals to keep stockpiling and be okay. But
They've
it
drafted
doesn't
incredibly
always
well,
just keep
so.
happening over and over again. I get it. You have the quarterback and it can. But if the Bengals, because last year the Bengals would lose games, then they'd still go on a run and make the playoffs. But the division wasn't as loaded as it is now.
That's the problem.
That's the issue.
Lamar Jackson
That's
was
why
hurt last year, bro.
that's why I'm concerned. I'm not concerned about Joe Burrow as an individual. I'm not concerned about the Bengals in terms of winning games over the next couple of weeks. But I'm concerned about the Bengals in the long term of making
That
the
guy.
playoffs.
I got stat.
I have to see so badly.
Okay, his last thing. Tej Seth.
Tej
Shout
Seth?
out Tej Seth on Twitter. He's been posting this graphic of like after a win or before the game happens, if they get a win, what their percentage of playoff percentage will be, and if they lose, what it would be. The Bengals with a win this week would have been up to 70% to make the playoffs. Without the win, they're up to down to 49%.
Yeah, it's like my
With a
fantasy
win for the
chances.
Steelers and the Browns are at 69.3%,
Nice.
and the Steelers are at 52.6%, and the Bengals lost, which puts them in last obviously in terms of percentage to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So it was a big swing.
What
That
about the
loss-
Texans?
It's a big swing. But
Texans.
but then again,
Texans jumped to a 40% chance. to
I'm
make the
really
playoffs.
enjoying this
I'd love to see
conversation. I'm really not enjoying the abdominal pain.
I understand.
Can
Go.
you guys keep talking? Though?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. And then
just
we're
go
gonna
pee,
wrap
brother.
up.
then again, right?
We've been
Like,
going for it over an hour.
that's-
So we
Jesus,
gotta
pull
wrap.
up your pants. You see your whole ass.
that's also
Calvin Klein's. of
that's
course.
also my point though with like quarterbacks. It's not just opportune times in games. It's in the season when you have to show up.
Yeah.
So if you're throwing picks to lose the game and not only lose a pivotal game in a pivotal moment, or not only throw a pick in a pivotal moment to lose the game, but you're also the reason you lost in a pivotal moment of the season,
Mhm.
which could be a playoff changing
But also
moment.
let's not discount. Let's not forget that the last 2 weeks he balled out against the Bills on
He
prime
did.
time. He balled out against the 49ers. Those are 2 games they
True.
easily could have lost, and
True.
their season's fucking over if he doesn't ball out there.
True.
So he did what he had to do in those games. He had a bad game against the Texans. It happens. You move on from that. Just don't let it fucking
There's only one team that has a 100% chance of making the playoffs.
The Eagles.
Eagles.
Yeah.
I've seen
I
it.
guess they've
Shout
already
out.
clinched. Is that what that means?
No, I think it's just
Like if they lose
They
out,
haven't clinched it. It's just there's
it's
no
probably
way.
like a 99 point whatever percent.
it says 100. There's 98. There
There's
is
no way
99.
that they've clinched because they could lose fucking 8 straight.
Was that
somehow.
posted today?
No, it was posted before week
They're
10.
8-1,
Wait,
right?
what were the Cowboys after winning?
The Cowboys, after winning 92.5%
Nice.
to make the playoffs. So it's not like
Yeah.
crazy.
The Eagles can't be 100 though.
That doesn't make sense.
Like they could go 8-9 or was that 8-9
No, but
somehow?
it's probably
with a
it's-
loss though, that they had a big drop off. If the Cowboys had lost, it was 81% as opposed to 92%.
I think they're also counting like it's not just like complete.
The Niners,
statistics.
the gap was just like win 97%, loss 93%.
I think they're factoring in like the likelihood of them winning games as well,
Yeah, I'm
which
sure
makes
it
the
is.
Eagles
100%.
like. Also,
100%.
shout out to Tage. He's a fucking legend, bro.
Yeah, good,
He
good,
was at the Halloween party.
good
Yeah.
graphic. All right, let's wrap up because we've been going here for a long time. But hey, happy end of week 10.
Dak Prescott MVP.
Do we miss anything? What did you guys do instead of watch that Sunday night game yesterday?
I went
was
to
on
a
a toilet.
concert.
Oh wait, I do want to talk about the Detroit Lions.
You want to get it in real quick?
Get it in, get it in.
Adam, I think, wants to discuss it as well, but he's still ripping a piss.
We also have an
Is it a
episode
piss
coming
that
out
he's
on
doing?
Wednesday where we could talk as much as we want.
No, I
Still
want to hear
some
his
time.
Lions take. I think it's deserved.
I think it's deserved.
Go for it.
And Adam needs to be here for it though, because he's helping back me up a bit. Like we were talking about this before. All right, let's talk about how good would the Jets be realistically if they had Aaron Rodgers? Like, would they be Super Bowl contenders right now?
Yeah.
This is just a
Yeah.
fun little
Yeah.
like bridge conversation.
Yes.
till Adam
Did you
comes
see
back.
Did you see the video? I was telling you guys about this before the pod. There was a video of Nathaniel Hackett calling a play on 3rd and 2 for Zach Wilson yesterday.
Yeah.
Jets needed to convert, and Aaron Rodgers is on the headset, and the video pans to him, and Hackett calls the play. You see Rodgers, he looks down, he goes,
and
shakes
Zach,
his head,
and Zach does,
and then Zach snaps the ball. They rush it. They try to get the 2 yards on 3rd and 2, and they go backwards 3 yards.
That felt great.
Yep.
Rodgers
All right, Adam,
knew.
Thank you. I needed a bridge conversation because we're gonna talk about the Lions. We didn't talk about the Lions. yet.
Oh,
This is the last conversation.
yeah,
we
yeah.
gotta wrap up.
But I was like, I think we forgot something. That was it because I really want to discuss my Detroit Lions.
Your Detroit,
My Detroit Lions.
Your ownership.
Well, I'm the only guy here that has been a Lions supporter.
Laporta.
Well, maybe other people support it, but I feel like
Laporta.
I'm like that 80-year-old supporter at the Chelsea matches, just like this whole time.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think it's time to just start the discussion about the Lions being a legitimate Super Bowl contender. I know we don't want to because they are the Lions, and I get that. But they can beat you any which way they want. If you're in a slugfest, they can go win a game 12-9, all right, because that defense is incredible, and they're going to be able to run the football and do what they need to do. If it's a 41-38 game like yesterday, they can go out there and Jared Goff can get you as many points as you fucking need. And you don't need to pass the ball the whole time. You got Dave Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs look incredible together now that Gibbs is starting to get going. Jared Goff is a legitimate top 10 quarterback in the league right now, and I don't think that's debatable. You can try and say that because he's Jared Goff. But look at the numbers, and you can't really debate that. Amon-Ra's the most consistent wide receiver in football right now, besides probably A.J. Brown. Like, I just don't think the Lions can beat you in so many different ways. And they're 7-2 right now. They could get the 1 seed. They legitimately could get the 1st seed in the NFC. And we have to start the discussion of them being a legit Super Bowl contender, not just this fun little story.
Huzzah.
Okay, Dan Campbell.
Huzzah.
They're a wagon.
Yeah.
They're a wagon.
I don't think they're that good.
Why?
Okay. They got destroyed. They got destroyed by the Ravens. They lost to the Seahawks. I think they're a good team, but Super Bowl contenders pushing it. I wouldn't even say a team like Dallas is a Super Bowl contender, and Dallas clears Detroit.
I don't think Dallas clears Detroit. I think Detroit's a better overall team right now. 100%.
That's all I got. That's
my
all I had.
opinion. Yeah. But why don't you believe in them? It's just because they've only lost 2
No,
games.
I do believe in them, but Super Bowl contender is.
Well, how many teams in the NFL are Super Bowl contenders?
Thank you. That's
All
my
of them.
point.
No.
Anybody can win.
All right.
Let's go.
I think-
now we
Patriots.
are starting to going in circles.
Yeah.
I think there's.
Until you're mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, you're
No, I think there's 3 that there's 3 legitimate ones, and the Ravens are teetering. I think it's the Chiefs, Eagles, and Niners.
I think for me at least, the legitimate Super Bowl contenders this year: Chiefs, Eagles, Niners, Ravens, Lions. Those are my 5. I think those 5 teams could easily win a Super Bowl this year, and I would not be surprised.
Yeah, but I feel that
If
way.
any other
feel
team
that way
does, I would
about,
be
like,
surprised. I would not be surprised if the
I
Lions
mean,
did
it's
that.
difficult given the situation in the AFC North, but like the Bengals are always a team that are going to be a threat. Like they could.
But I'm not putting them up there
Still
yet.
make a run. Like,
I'm not putting them up there yet, but they're the tier below it, personally.
But bro,
the Bills too. You know,
your favorite argument though about beating good teams, they beat the Chiefs week 1, of course. That's
In
awesome.
Arrowhead.
Other than that, they haven't beat a good team.
Well,
We're talking about this game. They just beat the Chargers. Before that, they beat the Raiders. Before that, they played a good team, the Ravens, and got smoked. Got absolutely
that
destroyed.
was a bad game. All teams had bad
But
games.
in fairness,
That can't always be the excuse to all teams have bad
But in
games. I mean,
fairness,
this is
you guys lost to the fucking Cardinals, brother, and you're
And I
trying to
did.
put them above?
Yeah,
I
but
just
he's
think
not
we're not a
saying they're not
contender.
contenders.
But in
He's not saying
fairness,
they're
I
contenders.
mean, my argument is that the Dolphins are beating the team that they're supposed to beat. So I can't use that to discredit the Lions. I think the Lions, I agree with everything
Can't help
you
your
said.
schedule.
The Lions
you can't.
can
That's why,
beat
but
you
they've
in
lost to
so
good
many
teams.
different ways. I don't know if I put the Lions in legitimate contenders just yet.
Yeah.
I think they're the tier below, but a team that could easily move up. A team that has shown that they could win in so many various ways. So
Yeah.
I think right now, if I have to pick Super Bowl contenders, I think there's only 4 in the NFL. And I'll even say 3.5 because I think the Ravens are that half team that could be there.
So we agree on that.
Well, I just think you have an MVP level quarterback, and they are playing at their floor right now, in my opinion. Like that offense is not playing what we think they can be. When it comes to actual contenders, I still put Eagles, Chiefs, Niners. Oh, excuse me, 4. I'll put the Cowboys also there just because of how they've played. But outside of that, like the Lions are real close. The Lions are closer to being a contender, I'll say, than maybe even
Then who?
the Bengals. But the
Oh, I would
Bengals,
say
I
so.
can't. Yeah,
I'll
Right now,
easily
for
say
sure.
so.
yeah, right now for sure.
They have a better. They're playing better.
I'll say this. I've been shitting on the Lions. I wasn't giving them credit yet. Yesterday's win, regardless of it being against the Chargers, credit where it's due. Team looked fucking good.
Yeah, on a day where your defense isn't playing that well, which that'll happen. Like they go out and drop 41. And Jared Goff outduels Justin Herbert. That's impressive as shit.
I still don't think the
Like-
Lions are a top 3 team in the NFC. I know the record says they are.
Yeah, I don't know. The NFC is very loaded. It's fair, but I just have to believe in them.
That third spot is either Cowboys or
Dan
Lions.
Campbell's so
Like,
fun.
I
like
love
he's
Dan
awesome.
It's
Campbell.
like a cocaine.
I
dad.
want to see the Lions win. I feel like
He's
the
cocaine
Lions.
if it was a person.
No,
I
he's
feel like the
he's like the
Lions-
dad who does coke. Like he's like
He's a dad that does coke.
I feel like
with
the
his
Lions
kids.
are the one
exactly.
team in the NFL where if they were to go on a run, like everyone would want to root for them. Like they're a team that no one can hate on. The Detroit Lions.
Lions, yeah, they're a likable.
Very
team.
I like them.
Who cares about the fucking Lions? So it's like if they're doing well, it's like, oh, cool.
They got a good fan base.
All right. Well, we really
They
have
do.
to wrap up here. We've been going for a long time.
It's a good episode.
Great episode. If you want to get in on any of the best sportsbook offers, be sure to go to thegameday.com/promotions. You can bet on Monday Night Football if you'd like to, or Thursday
who
Night
do we
Football
got?
next week.
Bills Broncos.
Bills.
That's
What are the
disgusting.
chances I can get 60 from Javonte Diggs and Kincaid?
Fantasy points?
Oh, I need something very similar.
That's
I
actually
need
not. From
Adam.
all
I need
three?
kind of
I need
impossible.
40 from
It's
Diggs
pretty
and Kincaid.
impossible, but
40 from Diggs and Kincaid could happen.
So we're talking maybe like a 41-38 shootout, something like that.
I could also use like 35 points from Diggs.
All right, let's go.
Let's fucking go.
Step on
Stephon
Diggs,
Diggs
4+
game.
tutties.
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, thanks for listening to the Caps Off podcast. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye.